So let's connect the first of the 7 deadly sins to the first 2 commandments in the Old Testament. Number 1, you should only worship Yahweh. Commandment number 2, don't have any images of God because it transcends or it's beyond human imagination. I love myself. I wake up at 4 in the morning, go to my office and write because I think I have good things to write about. If that's not worshiping the way you think about life and then you want to write it down, I don't know what else it is. Graven image. I don't know how the first 2 commandments are even humanly possible. I don't know what idiot put them down on tablets. If it's God, he's completely ridiculous. If it's Moses, he's an idiot. You know what it takes to get over the first sin, pride? The moment you're born, you cry, you scream to be held, to be nursed. Have you any idea what your mom has gone through for the past 6-7 months to carry you inside her? And then you come out, and she wants 10 minutes of rest, but you scream. And from that point on, she has to bend over backwards to make sure that all of your needs are satisfied. Why? Because it's you. Because you scream, you throw a temper tantrum. And then you take classes and you write essays. And just in case you get an F, another temper tantrum. Can I come see in your office, please? For what? I need help with my essay. What help can I offer you? My boyfriend left me. And if you examine this very, very closely, you realize you really must not care about any aspect of yourself to be able to be true to the first commandment, unless you assume yourself to be a gift from the gods. And like Jesus, you can say, I and the Father are one and the same. You can worship that if you wish. But for the rest of us, no one can remain true to the first commandment. Graven images. Have you no image of yourself in the future? You're going to graduate, you're going to go to Stanford, get a job, make a better life. That's what we worship. So forget the first 2 commandments because they're not really for us. Pride. It's really, really, really good. It's good because it's part of life. You need to survive. You need to preserve what little exists inside you in terms of hopes and dreams. You need to worship them, especially if they're good. If you have found a companion and the 2 of you work well together, worship it. Make sure you have found rituals and ceremonies where you can observe, both of you. Make them into habits so you guys don't step on each other's toes. Create friction, conflict. What the hell is that good for? Now, there are a couple of things about pride that are worthy to mention. The first is, most of us, let me just talk about myself. I'm really incompetent in many ways. I play my best piano for people who can't hear anything, that they're deaf. I can walk on the keys and they say, wow, Amir, that was spectacular, beautiful. But when people are really good at playing the piano and they come to the house, whenever they ask me to play, I say no. So there is a branch of pride where you're really proud of yourself, even though you're not really good at anything. You're just proud of the fact that you can breathe, you can shit, you can eat, you can base your life on some unexamined set of assumptions, and you can fail and you can fall. You know what people say usually when they go through 50 breakups and they're very proud? Well, maybe God wants me to learn something. Yeah, that you're a piece of shit. How's that going to make you feel? There is this other branch of pride that's really, really healthy. And it's kind of like you lock yourself in a room and you practice the violin and you have a teacher. And you want to have a very intimate relationship with violin. And so you practice and practice and practice. And when someone asks you to play, you say, no. I'm far too small. I'm far too insignificant. I'm not very good. So you keep yourself in the closet for a long time, and then after 10 or 15 or 20 years, you come out and play Zeller-Bach Theater in Berkeley. And you have 1,000 people standing up applauding you. And you too stand up and you bow and you say thank you, and you're very proud of the way you played and your accomplishments. That's a good pride to have, because it is founded on sacrifice, and it's founded on patience, in fact, it's founded on passion. So what you encounter, at least in regards to the first sin, pride, is that most of us are not good at anything, and yet we're very proud. You can just brush those people aside. They're trash. The second is people are really, really good at what they do because they've made lots of sacrifice and efforts. those are the people who are worthy of honor and respect. That's number one. Number two, let's just say lust. What is lust? I am lusting after playing the piano really, really well. I'm lusting after making this relationship work. Without lust, life would cease to exist. Lust is good. The only question is, what are you lusting after? If I am married and I'm lusting after you, well, that could be negative. If I'm single and you're single and I'm healthy and you're healthy, lusting after is a good thing. If we're both single and I'm unhealthy, messed up in the head, but you are healthy, well, lusting after me for you would be a sin. Lust by itself is not bad. It's the juice of life. But you have to go after the right thing. Lust, replace the word lust with attraction. It's a good thing. Greed. You know, I look at something, the first sin, pride. I look at something and I say, I am lusty after it, if that's the way you say it. Lustful, lusty, lusterious. You lust after it. Well, when you lust after something, eventually you hopefully get it. And if it's pleasant, well, what is it that human beings do? You want more of it. Greed is a good thing because you're saying life gave me something. It was attractive. I pursued it. I have it. It tasted beautiful. I want more of it. The other thing about greed is, do your parents have an extra fridge in the garage? Maybe in one of the bedrooms? Well, I have like 5 extra fridges. And there is a reason. You know, for the past many, many million years of being down here, what human beings have discovered, and perhaps it's in all of our DNAs, is that life is frightening, life is dangerous. At any time, life could rob everything that you have. It's not a bad thing for you to have like an extra stuff here and there. So just in case you come home and your house is empty, you have a savings account. Greed is about future. Greed is about the continuation of pleasure, of something you lusted after, and it felt good. The problem, however, with greed, like all the other kinds of sins, is that sometimes your greed comes from the branch of envy. I have a car and it's running perfectly fine, but it's a Honda 1967. You have a brand new Tesla. It's a hypothetical. And I envy what you have. Now, there is something about envy. It has a sibling. It's called wrath or anger. I am angry. You're younger, you're less attractive, you're unaccomplished. I mean, that's what this generation is all about, right? Unaccomplished pricks who have YouTube accounts and Instagram, and they're everywhere. And I say, well, you know, I'm like 3 times her age, and look at me driving this piece of clunk. And so I become greedy. I want a car, but I want your car.